Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode here on Dangerous African Confessions HD. In this episode, we have another confession from our sister who admits of doing something wrong against her own husband. And the most interesting aspect of this whole story is the fact that the person that our sister got pregnant for is her ex-boyfriend who is now a pastor. Get ready to be shocked, because you are about to listen to some interesting things. Let us go and listen to what our sister has for us. And please don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video so that others can listen to it.
Brother, at this point of my life, I am not in the right frame of mind. I don't really know what to do and why I allowed myself to be carried away by all of this, which is now causing me so much pain and shame. I honestly feel so bad about this whole thing. I am only sharing with you so my fellow women out there will be much careful when it comes to their dealings in their marriages. More especially when it has to do with your ex-partner when you are married. What even makes my own story messy has to do with the fact that the person who happens to be my ex-partner or boyfriend is a pastor. And my connection back with him has caused me so much and even has caused me my marriage as well. One will say that if I went back to him and I am now divorced, I can go back to him. That is where I felt sad, stupid and has let myself down. Little did I know that the person I thought really loved me when he said so, was married with 2 kids. And they were outside of the country. Before I go on with my story, I first want to talk to my fellow sisters out there. Please, if for a chance you meet someone who shows you so much love and care, never in any way take that for granted. I have indeed paid for taking my husband for granted dearly. Yes, my actions have cost me a lot. You see, it is possible to fall again for someone you have felt something for before. But when you have someone in your life, just please focus on your current situation and relationship. Do not let that whatever sweet talks and promises they will give you make you do things that will later turn to hurt you. Because most of them when they come, they only come back to still have a taste again of what they left. And not to have any meaningful impact or life with you. This I didn't have anyone to tell me. I had to learn this the hard way. And I will say, I am glad it happened to me. Because I deserve whatever has happened to me. But it can be a lesson to you all. So please learn from my mistakes. Okay, so in about 6 months ago, I was a married woman. A wife to one gentleman. Let me call his first name. My husband Stephen was a very gentle person in all ways. My husband, even when he wants to make love to me, he will have time to go about all the necessary stuffs he needs to do to me. I believe you understand what I mean by that. I guess like most ladies, I wanted more. I wanted what I see a lot of girls doing now. They call it adventure. I wanted him to do things that were somehow rough and all that with me. But here is a man who values everything about me and he will not go that way. No, if you ask if I told him, I didn't tell him directly, but one way or the other, as at that time I felt I had done enough for him to know what I wanted, and he was not getting it. That was honestly driving me insane. I am not justifying anything, not my actions or anything like that. I am purely telling you at that time, that was what I was feeling. And it is now that I have gotten to know that, all those things I was doing were purely out of touch, and I needed not to have gone that far in my marriage to Stephen. When we met for the first time, I honestly felt like this is the man. I don't know how and why I was feeling that way. I was just hoping he will come talk to me. I had gone out with my friend to the beach, and he happened to be there with this lady. Honestly, I didn't see the lady at first. It was my friend who pointed the lady out that I should check the person I was crushing on was even there with a lady. And so, I should just mind my business. So, I had completely forgotten about him. When we were about leaving, he pulled up at the car park and offered us a ride. It is funny when I didn't even ask where he was headed and I said yes. When we were in the car, I needed to find out if the lady was his girlfriend or something. So when he asked us where we were going, I told him he can drop us anywhere we can take her to the direction I gave. I told him we didn't want to ruin the beautiful outing he is having with his woman. That is where the lady laughed and said they were not dating and that Steven is her cousin. Apparently the lady Bata had just returned from outside and they were going about having fun. Just that moment I knew I might have a chance, even though he might have a girlfriend or something, I just didn't care. Long story short, I managed to exchange contacts with him. That was the beginning of our relationship. He turned out to be coming out from a bad relationship, and I fitted in just like that. It took him about 5 to 6 months before he could propose to me about his feelings. Me, who was already waiting for the day he would say those things to me, didn't wait to respond in affirmative. So that is how we started our relationship, and it went on from that time till we finally got married. The thing is that I was not in any relationship at the time I met him, because I had loved this guy so much that, when he broke my heart, it was really difficult for me to love again. But I guess with time, I managed to put it all behind me and decided to pick the pieces together and move on with my life. It had already been 2 years since I was heartbroken by my boyfriend. And so, when he also told me about his experience, I felt the two of us were having similar experiences and we could use that to our advantage, which he agreed. It was decided that, what the person did that you didn't like, you are not to do it to the other now. Everything on our marriage was perfect. Like I said earlier, he is the perfect definition of what we call a gentleman. The good Lord blessed us with a baby girl in our 2nd year. And this was even the most beautiful moments in our marriage and my life. The kind of things my husband did for me, that is why I am saying that, looking back I deserve everything that is happening. And I will never blame him for anything that is going on, or any decision that he has made. Because he gave me his all. And I took it for granted. You see, even though I wasn't a small or young girl, I will say that I was naive about what I got myself involved with. And this is where I lost it all when it comes to my marriage. Take it from me, as a married woman, you cannot have a male best friend or a female best friend. Your husband and your children should be your best friends. Before meeting him, you had these friends in your life, and you have taken a new step in your life. That step should be your focus. That is where most of us ladies are missing it. I am not saying because you are married to your husband, someone or your female friends cannot call you not you can't do certain things with them. But your number one priority should be your husband and your home. If you feel like he is not comfortable with you and your friends, then you should have a serious sit down and decide whether you want this relationship with your husband to grow or you want to keep your relationship with your friends and lose your home. Also, I will say that, if you are a man and you are in a relationship or even married, you should be able to draw boundaries in your relationship or marriage. This is because, allowing your partner to always have her way just like my husband did, could always lead to so many things. Has it be that, my husband told me not to be outing with my friends because of A or B, because of the respect I have for him, I would have found a way to communicate with my friends on how I cannot be going out with them. It is always good to be gentle and clean about things, but sometimes as a man in the house or in the relationship, you should be commanding certain changes in the relationship or marriage. That is where my husband also missed. Like I said, I am not justifying my actions, but this is purely the truth and I have learned this the hard way. After losing my beautiful home. That is where I missed it all. Because he was not someone who had issues with me hanging out with friends, I didn't also consider the dangers in doing so. I had gone out with my friend one evening, this is because my husband and our daughter had gone out to his family in their hometown. And I was all alone in the house. And during our outing, I saw my ex-boyfriend also there and he came over to where we were and talked to us. He went over to bring us drinks and we took the drinks and we continued the talk. The next day, he called me on the phone and we talked. That night too he called me and we talked also. I didn't realize I was kind of opening up a closed book all over again. I didn't know why I always rush to pick up the phone whenever he calls. He asked that I meet him the next day so we can talk over some issues bothering him. I kept on saying to myself that the fact that we are no more dating or going out does not mean we are enemies. So I agreed to his request and I went to meet him at the location he had given me. That, I will say, was the decision I shouldn't have taken in the first place. When we got there and was talking, he touched my hand. Honestly, brother, I didn't know why I felt the way I felt when he touched me. It was as if I had never felt that feeling before. I smiled at him when he touched me and he said he had a surprise for me. He went to the place they were ordering drinks. He returned with my favorite drink. When I was with him, it was the only drink I will ever take when we went out or anything. All of a sudden I felt what I used to feel when I was with him. I had even forgotten about my marriage. To tell you the truth, I don't know when I agreed to go to his house with him. I felt like I wanted something inside of me. I feel ashamed telling you this. In his house, he started kissing me and I also kissed him back. That was how I ended up sleeping with my ex-boyfriend even as a married woman. When I got home, I called my friend to come over. She came and because we tell each other our secrets, I told her of what has happened between us. She looked at me and asked me if I enjoyed it. I told her everything about it. How much I enjoyed it and the fact that he did it just as I wanted it to be done, but my husband was not doing it like that. That was also another place where I didn't get good advice. She was like, no one knows what is happening between us, and so I should enjoy it whilst it lasts. I continued seeing my ex-boyfriend for more of such things, both his house and hotels. A few days after my husband had returned from his trip, I realized I wasn't feeling well, and when the time of the month reached, I didn't see my flow. I quickly went to check and it was positive that I was pregnant. What have I caused? And because I had also seen my husband when he returned, I felt it was a normal thing for me to say it was his. He was all happy about the development. I told my friend that I was pregnant and that I fear it was for my ex-boyfriend but not my husband. She advised that I do not tell my husband the truth. Little did I know that she would go behind my back and reveal to him about what had happened between my ex-boyfriend and myself. I was there one evening when my husband called me and asked me who was Michael. I told him which Michael he was referring to. He said my ex-boyfriend. I was shocked when he said that. I told him yes, I do have someone like that, but he is my ex. I wanted to know why he was asking me that. He said that, for the first time in his life, and in our marriage, he is going to deny me of something. He said it pains him that I was lying to him about the pregnancy. But then, he was not going to say anything about it again. If I so much want to tell him the truth about the pregnancy, I should come out clean about it. I still insisted that it was his. Not knowing that, my friend had already given him all of what I had done behind his back. I remember my husband told my mother that he only wanted me to be honest with him in the beginning, and he would have agreed to it that mistakes are there. But for me to continue lying to him about it, it meant he couldn't trust me anymore in the marriage. That was when the whole issue had escalated and my family became aware of it. This is when my mother tried to plead on my behalf. He was like, I still love your daughter, but I certainly cannot continue to live with someone like that. You see, the whole thing is that, when I saw that he one way or the other has something about me, I called my Michael and we met. I told him that I was pregnant, and he was like, who is responsible for it? I told him he is the one. Michael then told me he cannot be the one. Because he knows that I am a married woman and that my husband also sleeps with me, so how can I say that he is the one responsible for it? And he continued that, besides he too is a married man and his wife will be returning from outside the country the following month. So if even he was the one, there is no way he can accept me or anything. So he proposes that we terminate it. I was shocked to listen to such things from him. I couldn't believe my ears. What have I gotten myself into? was all that I could ask myself. It was when I was leaving that he said to me that, even if he wanted to be with me, he was a pastor and the doctrine of his faith means he cannot marry two women at the same time. So he pleads with me to try and terminate it, in order to save my marriage and his own as well. I had become a fool in my own world. I called my friend and he advised me to take it easy in order to find a way out of this whole situation. I told him about what Michael had said to me earlier. That was when my friend told me that she knew of his marriage, but she thought since we were having fun, there was no point in her telling me about it. Even to the point where she said he is even a pastor. I was shocked that my friend could do this to me. Why couldn't she tell me about all that? Little did I know that she was the same person that told my husband about my affair with Michael. My husband never told me about where he got his information from. My mother called me to her place and said she had something to talk to me about. When I got to my mother's place, that was when she told me that my husband was at her place and had told her that I cannot say that the whole thing is not true. Because even my friend was the one who first told him about what was going on between Michael and myself. I was shocked to hear that. He had again told my mother that he would want me to move away from his house so that it will avoid any issues. This my mother asked me to agree to it, and so we went to my husband's house and I begged him for his forgiveness. He told me that he does not hold anything against me, but it will be a difficult thing for him to trust me again. And for that reason, he wants me to move to my mother's place, or better still, he will rent for me if I do so want. But he does not want to be a part of the pregnancy. And wouldn't want the mother of his daughter to be homeless. That is why he wants to do the things in a way that there will be respect between us. When he finished his statement, I was completely disgusted by what I had done. Even at what I have done, this man was showing me so much love and respect. I am here with my mother, and I am hoping that he will find a way and a place to forgive me. My mother and some elders are still talking to him. I pray he will accept me back. But I have really learned my lesson in a hard way. I just pray for my fellow women out there. Please let us be wise and smart when dealing with these men. Thank you, and please remain me in your prayers. I really want to go back to my husband.
Don't forget to please subscribe, share and like our videos. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload. Indeed, I honestly do not know how to react to what our sister just told us. But then, oh, believe in life, we have so many lessons that we will have to pass through. You have made the mistake, and I am not here to tell you where you went wrong, because even she has already recognized her mistakes herself. That is the beauty of the story she told us. I do know what I will feel or what I will be feeling if I were to be the man. But I pray your husband comes to a point where the love he has for you supersedes what you have done. Because everything he has done and shown from what you told us means that he loves you and had love from day one. You didn't tell us about what his family is also saying about it. If he told them or he has decided not to. If by now, he has not yet told his family, then I pray he continue to love you the way you are. And not use your mistakes to punish you. Or cannot judge you, because you already know your mistakes now. Thanks for sharing with us your weakness. Like I always say, these are not just stories for story's sake. They are meant for us not to make these mistakes our brothers and sisters are making. That's why we share these stories with you. Just like we always do in this house, please let us also hear from you, our beautiful family members. Let's listen to your views and concerns and comments in the comment section. Yes, just as we are here to share with ourselves what is going on out there, we do bring these conversations with you, our family members, to help their innocent brothers and sisters to realize what is happening out there, that they do not have any idea about. So that they can make their own decisions going forward in their day-to-day activities. I just hope that we honestly take the important lessons from these stories to better our lives and decisions. Stay blessed and be safe. Thanks for being a part of this growing family. Kindly share your thought with us in the comment section below. And if you are new here, please subscribe, like and share.